Hey, listeners, before we get to today's podcast, I just want to thank our sponsors who make this podcast possible. First off, we have Tiny & Sons Glass. Does your vehicle have cameras or driver's assist? If so, when your windshield is replaced, it will need to be recalibrated. What is recalibration? When your vehicle's windshield is replaced, the safety systems need to then be tested to ensure that they work with your new windshield. Some vehicles require static recalibration, and others require a dynamic recalibration. Not sure who to trust to take care of this recalibration for you? Well, just call Tiny & Sons Glass in Pembroke, Mass. They are experts in auto glass and registered company of the Auto Glass Safety Council. Plus, they make it easy. They will call your insurance company for you. Get your windshield replaced by their highly trained auto glass technicians. And get your vehicle recalibrated so you can be back on the road. Tiny & Sons Glass, keeping you and your family safe. And our second sponsor today is Baxter Blue. Do you experience digital eye strain from too much blue light exposure from digital screens? Baxter Blue glasses are not your average frames. These blue light lenses filter 80% of the highest energy blue light, eliminating 99% of the glare. The past year, we have all been glued to our devices more than ever. They want me to tell a story about myself. The past year, we've all been glued to our devices more than ever. And here at Inebriart, we're making more content. We have some video content. We're doing a lot of audio stuff, live streaming, which all means I'm sitting in front of the computer. Pretty much any time I'm awake, I am in front of the computer, eyes glued to the screen. Our exposure to digital light has soared, and our eyes and our sleep are suffering as a result. Baxter Blue is also a force for good and provides a pair of reading glasses for someone in need for every pair sold. This is eyewear built for our digital age, and Baxter Blue is giving our listeners 10% off the next purchase of blue light, sleep, or kids glasses. Click on the link in our show notes for an exclusive discount. This is the sign you have been waiting for to invest in blue light glasses. We know you'll love your Baxters, and we know that you will feel the difference. So thanks again for our sponsors for sponsoring the show, and now let's jump right into the podcast. Welcome back to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am Andy of Inebriart, your host, and I am joined as always by Jordan Chapman of Speedwell.
Yo!
You're more awake for this one. I like it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A couple canteens.
Nice. Carl Heine of the New World Tavern.
Hello, everybody.
And then we are joined by Mel and Jim.
Hello.
God damn it, I did it again. I called you Luke the whole time last week. Why?
Mel?
I prefer it that way.
You know why? Because you look like that guy from Mel's Diner.
Right? God damn it, the whole time. Sorry, man.
It's all right.
Really sorry.
Jeez, you do. I never thought of that.
Right?
You do.
Oh,
hey.
every time. It's like a talent.
Yeah, that's
Lou
why I'm a bartender.
and Jim of the Hilltop Athletic Association. I'm sorry, Lou.
It's all right. No
I'll
problem.
do better.
Lou,
I'm
no
totally
worries.
not going to be a member.
I really could.
So we're going to do question and answers. And so I'm going to fuck up other people's names because, why not? All right. First question. Sheila Lewis. Managers, how do you handle fake doctor excuses? This note doesn't have a date or the reason for an ER visit. I mean, do you get a lot of...
I don't ask for notices, but over the last year, I've considered it more often than I think I ever have because of COVID. And you have to be super cautious if someone's showing symptoms, right?
So, yeah, we actually do the opposite. So, if somebody goes to the doctors and they're saying, here's my doctor's note, we don't accept it. I say, no, I need a doctor's note that says you're okay to come back to work
Right.
and work with the public. And I need something signed off. And they're like, oh, well,
Right.
all of a sudden...
Because that's the important part.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. I just need something. If you go, I don't care if you cut your arm. I need something that says you can come back to work, not why you were out.
And that's straight up just liability.
Because they say they went to the doctor.
Right? If you went to the doctor, now that's documented, and
That's right.
you're making them come to work when the doctor's saying they can't. you can get in trouble for that. And they don't realize that sometimes. They'll go to the doctor for something stupid, thinking like, oh, I got a doctor's note. Now I can get out of work as long as I want. Then all of a sudden when they want to come back.
Oh, they have their roommate sign it saying, Dr. Smith says,
Right.
you came in for a visit. I'm like, no, I need a doctor's note that says you can come back to work.
Right.
That's all right if you come back.
Well, you guys only have, one bartender here, right?
No, we have
Luke,
we
when
have
was the
three.
last day you called out?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. When did Luke call out loud?
So, other than vacations,
No, you look at that little Lou's abused his body most of his life. Nothing really can make him sick.
Yeah, right.
I don't feel like he was the kind of guy
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
like,
nothing
oh.
lives inside of me.
I feel like Lou's the kind of guy who could lose 4 fingers. And
Yeah.
be like, did you show up for work? Be like, I put some duct tape and gauze on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have 6. What are you talking about? I have more than half of my
Do
fingers.
you want a fucking beer or not?
I'm gonna soak it in some
Yeah.
Tito's, man. We're good.
Could you open the beer though?
Did we answer that person's question?
I don't think
think you
so.
did.
But I think it's a bullshit. Sounds like it's a bullshit.
Yeah, next.
Doctor's note. Yeah, you
Yeah,
print
I feel
it
like
off.
if you're questioning it, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Laura Estella. Anyone have a polite way of telling customer it's your birthday in hopes of getting better tips?
Ooh.
There's no polite way, but people do it.
Yeah. Just wear a shirt that says it's my birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, how about good service?
Yeah.
Good service gets better tips.
right.
I don't really care if it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
I almost feel like you're gonna get worse service because that server is gonna be like, it's my birthday.
We had
and
servers that had birthdays every month.
Like, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's a super funny story. I think it's funny. There's certain people who don't.
Is it a long story?
No, maybe. You think all my stories are long. So I was at Luciosa's one day, and they have 2 bartenders that share a birthday. And a bunch of us had gone out after they closed for some drinks. And so the owner, John, shows up. And he's like, oh, Jackie and Jessica, I'm buying you drinks. It's your birthday. I'm like, it's my birthday too. Thought he knew I was joking, so he bought me a drink. I'm like, thanks, John. So then the next day I was in there, he's like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, I thought you knew I was joking. So then every time I walk in there, there's a hostess
Back there.
that goes, happy birthday, Andy. And it's the number of times that I've had like waitresses come over and give me a hug, or people be like, it's your birthday, and buy me drinks. I'm like, sure.
Every time you
Always
walk in
my
there.
birthday at Luciosa's.
That's a great concept for
Yeah.
a restaurant.
What about here, Lou? You got customers coming up and saying, it's my birthday, can I get a free drink?
They do. Yeah,
You
they
give them a free
do.
drink?
For a $2 beer. Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's nice. You discounted 25 cents.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, when you have regulars and Facebook, let's be honest, Facebook tells everybody when it's your birthday. If you list your birthday on your profile, it
Yeah.
tells everybody. So that's huge too. But when I used to bartend, man, and I had my regulars, it was nice working. I would wanted to work my birthday. You got over tips. They knew it was your birthday because of Facebook or social media, or because they were your regulars. They were there the previous year when it was your birthday. Some people actually remember it because you're like family to them. So,
You abuse the situation.
you fucking kidding me? I made sure I worked my birthday every year.
Lou, what about when it's your birthday here?
So when it's my birthday here, I definitely drink behind the bar.
Attaboy.
Yeah, and
Every day is your birthday too.
it's hard to really show anyone.
Now
my
that was
birth-
actually more truthful than you realized.
I don't
He's
usually
750.
show people. I have no proof because that tablet's too heavy to carry.
All right. So I think we answered your question.
Well, let's stay with that. So,
Okay.
Jim, do you ever go to a bar, not here, but just a bar and say, oh, it's my birthday?
Me, would I say
As a
no?
customer.
No, I would never say.
Like
I
if
didn't-
you go out
yeah.
with your wife for a birthday dinner or something, do you tell people?
No, I would never.
So
tell
how do you
people.
feel when Karen says, oh, yeah, we're out. It's Jim's birthday.
She wouldn't do that because she would hate that as well. So it's a mutual agreement we have. But I
would say it all
This
the
is the
time.
first I've
When
ever
I
heard.
love you next, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell everybody it's your birthday. Go, it's your birthday.
I was saying,
gonna come
I'll do
over
it if
and
it's
sing.
like my kid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, come on, give you a free little cupcake or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 53. I don't really want a cupcake with a candle. On it.
Yeah, right. With a bunch of
Table,
people screaming
you know.
at you.
I do.
I was gonna say,
Oh, Lou,
What do you
when's your
got
birthday,
against
brother?
Yeah, Lou, when's your birthday?
October 20th.
There you go.
Ooh,
That's my
it's
sister's
Halloween.
birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So
Maybe
they,
lose your sister.
we did say never mind.
I'll be right back.
So there
Couple
was
throwback.
there was
jokes.
one time we used to hang out. This is before like we hung out downtown Plymouth. We used to hang out the Fridays in Plymouth, and it was Fish's birthday, and he's like, don't fucking do the cake thing. I'm like, no. And so we're sitting at the corner of the bar, and you see like all the waitresses gather, and there's like this little round cake. And he kind of goes pale a little bit, and I'm like, what's your fucking problem? He looks over, and I'm like, oh, do you think we didn't fucking do that? Like 20 minutes later, they come out with a giant sheet cake that's pink and has like My Little Ponies. I'm like, we did fucking that one. That was the best.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're assholes.
Oh, that's great. Never heard that story.
Are you? Can I go on to the next one, Carl? Do I
Yeah,
have your permission?
go ahead.
All right. Clay Groves. I'm brand new to bartending. So Lou, you probably give him some advice. After being a waiter for years, what 5 drinks should I learn first? I'm working at a sports/tourist bar. So what are 5 drinks that you should need to know before you start bartending?
Bud Light.
Mixed drinks. Lou.
Yeah.
Mixed drinks.
I mean, how new do you have to be to ask that question?
Yeah, really new, because you would. I mean,
Like rum and Coke is...
vodka and Sprite, vodka and soda is a big one with a splash of cran.
Right.
We call that a
But
pink
all the
lady.
ingredients
here,
are
by the
right
way.
in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
I
in the
mean,
name. I would be like,
I
I don't know how
mean,
to make a martini.
If
I
they're
guess.
looking
Right?
for like, I mean, if she said it was kind of a resort type place.
Yeah,
Sports.
bar/tourist. So it would
Yeah.
be like a New World.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
bar-
Okay. Yeah. So you get that type of traffic. So, I don't. You know what I always tell them? If they don't know what's in it, then they shouldn't be drinking it. You know?
It's a great
So
point.
is it out of the question for a bartender to ask the customer if the customer orders a drink that the bartender doesn't know, to ask the customer what's in it?
That goes on my ass sideways when they do that. When the customer doesn't know what's in their own drink they get, and they come up with some concoction, and they'll say, "I'll go, well, what's in that? I can make it, but what's in it? I don't know."
So then just mix them anything. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right. And
They don't know.
You
don't
can't
know.
tell me
Who
I'm
the heck
wrong.
cares?
yeah. Then you give it to them.
normally blue.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Not the
It's a
way
rum
I'm...
swizzle. It's a rum runner. It's a
But
mai
I don't
tai.
think
They're
it's
all
a
the
bad.
same
I
fucking
don't think it's a
drink.
bad thing for a bartender to ask the customer. I don't know that drink. What's in it?
Yeah.
I don't think
Exactly.
that's
So,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
You can't know everything.
Yeah.
What-
Exactly. I
What
mean,
we're getting sometimes at the bar is people would be ordering a cranberry vodka,
Right.
and we have cranberry vodka,
right. Yeah.
but they mean a vodka with cranberry.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But it's the way that they say it. Then we come over with the drink. They're like,
Yeah.
"This isn't what I wanted. We
Right.
just asked for a cranberry vodka."
Yeah, right,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So the thing about it is that, like, people need to know how to order drinks. Like, you start with the booze first, not the mix that goes in it.
Right.
And people come up to you and say, "Yeah, I'll have cranberry, soda, and vodka."
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, there's drinks that have 2 names, so you can have a vodka and grapefruit, and it can be a Greyhound. It's the
Right.
same drink, but it depends where you're from, how you order it. You know.
It's funny because I find people don't really order drinks by like their novelty name anymore. They just order
Right.
by what the ingredients are in
Exactly.
the drink. You don't get your Cape Codders anymore. You get vodka cranberry. You
Right.
don't get
Right.
Greyhound anymore. You don't get.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it goes. So that's why I mean to answer the question, I don't know about 5 off the top of my head, but there are definitely some drinks I mean, as a bartender, you're not going to make every day, but it's good to know the classics like the
Well,
martini, the cosmopolitan.
Right.
I think if you know how to
Long
make
Island
it,
iced tea.
is more important than what drink you're making.
I hear
right.
it's important you put ice in it.
Very important.
Well, only if you want them to come back.
That's why I didn't put ice in Carl's drink.
Oh.
But I mean, like some of them, like a vodka vodka tonic or rum
Right.
and Coke. It's like the same amount of alcohol and
Correct.
whatever the other thing is.
You
So-
just said what was in it.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I would say martini. You got to learn how to make a martini. Because doesn't tell you how the ingredients are in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
People martini drinkers are very particular, and you
Yeah.
still get them. You get dirty martinis, you get dry martinis all the time.
That's my drink, dirty
Yeah.
martini.
There you go. So that's something I would learn. Long Island iced tea. It's got a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
People still drink them. Sex on the beach. You don't get too many of those these days. People a little bit more sugar conscious, but that's a good one to know just because you can base a lot of drinks off of that. So that's what I would throw out there. Madras, stuff like that.
With all my years of bartending experience, I would suggest they're going to train you on your first day. Say, what are the 5 most popular drinks in this place?
Right.
And learn those.
Because
Right.
it
'Cause
could
it's gonna
be
change.
different in
Yeah,
every
it's gonna
bar.
change.
That's a very good point.
Once you make one
Margarita.
Yeah.
Great point. Margaritas definitely should be in that 5.
Yeah.
Everybody's drinking those specialty shots now, like a butter, like.
Yeah, but
Red
those
Hat
specialty
Squad.
shots aren't really a drink.
No, but you gotta know how to make
Yeah,
them.
you gotta know
Peanut
how to make
butter
it.
whiskey.
Yeah, and you're working at a
Yeah.
place like they're not ordering
Yeah.
one right at a slot. They're ordering
Yeah.
5 of them, and
Right.
you're busy because it's a place like that serves that kind of. It's a really good point, Jim.
Yeah.
Shots.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome, buddy. You're welcome.
Let's see. Okay, so Sean Piva? Sure. Everyone has that one thing that they hate doing. So what is the least favorite menial task at work? I.e. wiping down the bar, cutting fruit, filling ice bin, blah, blah, blah. So what is your least favorite thing to do at work?
Well,
Look.
everybody's.
Loading the coolers.
Yeah, that's
At
a
the
good
end of
call.
the night.
Yep.
Carl, do you do work?
I do all the work.
He really does, though.
Yeah, I talk to a lot of people.
You only talk to people that work for me.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Carl has become the
They
Swiss
have no
Army knife
idea
of the
what
New
I
World
do.
Tavern.
Yeah.
He works the kitchen. I gotta say, I gotta give Carl
If it
some
wasn't
credit.
for me, that place
Does
would
he
never
owe
open.
you money?
No, I'm just giving him. I'm proud of him. He finally jumped back in the kitchen. I've been telling him to do it for fucking 7 years.
So it's filling the cooler, Luke?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
for me, at the end of the night,
Yeah.
when you're beat and you're whipped and like they drink like it's on fire and you fill it back up and you're loading 20 cases in there, I'm like, I had enough of this shit.
Ugh.
I want to get out of here.
Yeah, you've already picked it up once. You got to pick it up
Yeah,
twice.
right.
You served it
Yeah.
and you had to freaking replenish
Yeah.
it. Yeah, loading the cooler always sucks.
Like
especially
today,
fucking
I just looked in our cooler here and there's no beer in there right now. So hopefully we don't get a delivery today. I won't have to put any in tonight.
rolling silverware.
I would say cleaning, like not like at the end of the shift.
Yeah.
That's because you just want to get out of there. Now you got to freaking sweep the floor. You got to do
Yeah.
all the silly things, make sure everything's wiped out, and it's stuff that you
Yeah.
know that
Right.
I got to wipe it down. Because
Yeah.
if I don't, they're gonna kill me.
Right.
If you don't cut fruit, the next day they'll
Yeah.
cut that fruit for you. They
Yeah.
will kill you, but they can cut the fruit. If you don't clean something, they're not gonna clean it for you.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, breaking down cardboard. I do a lot of kitchen work now. I'm putting away deliveries and shit. And sometimes you get like a 100 case drop of something. A lot of chicken wings, shit like that. Breaking down all of that cardboard and then dragging it across the freaking street to the dumpster. I hate that shit, dude.
How come
I
nobody
hate it. And
said
it takes
clean?
4
Yeah,
trips.
but you got to remember, you only have what,
No
a
one said
40-foot
what?
walk. I got to walk 340 feet to get to your dumpster.
You still using it? Fucking guy.
I can't believe no one said cleaning the bathroom. That has to be the worst job.
I got a crew that does that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We know you don't do that.
So I actually picked up a shift. Friend of the show, Jim Casey, was in a bind and didn't have a dishwasher one night. And apparently I was drunk a couple days before. I'm like, anytime you need help, I'll help out. And he texts me. He's like, hey, were you serious? I'm like, I'm always serious. He's like, about helping in the kitchen? I'm like, I cooked pizzas for 6 months. But, I mean, if you want me to cook in a fine dining, he's like, you don't remember this conversation? I'm like, no. So I picked up a shift washing dishes for Jim to help out. And, never done before, so it's a new experience. And the part that I realized that sucked the most is, like, wasn't super busy, so I'm staying on top of it. I'm, like, kind of proud of myself. I'm like, all right, everything seems to be running smooth. At, like, 9:30 when the kitchen's closing, the sink is just overflowing.
Yeah. They're
they-
turning over their coolers.
Yeah, everything that they have been
pans.
using all night, I'm like, fuck me, I'm going to be here till midnight.
Yeah.
So that was my least fun part of it. But anything to help out Casey.
Imagine doing that every night. Or
Oh
like
my
5
God.
nights a week, dude.
And everyone's like, how's it working for Jim? I'm like, it's fine working for Jim. I'm like, washing dishes blows.
It's a simple, easy job. It's a mindless job, but it is
sucks
it's
a lot.
defeating.
Yeah.
It's defeating.
You know what? My father was in the restaurant business for 50 years. He owned Swenson's in Faneuil Hall and a couple of Howard Johnson's, and he couldn't wait to retire to become a dishwasher.
Really?
He said that's the best job in the restaurant
Oh.
You know,
business.
you're not responsible for anything.
Nope.
Right, exactly.
There's no drama.
And
They
then the
had to-
whole time I'm thinking is like, this isn't like the first day of dishwashing. Why are the sinks so fucking low?
Yeah.
Like, just move them like 6 inches higher. Like, I'd blow my back out like crazy in this.
Yeah.
This bird. Anything to
You're
help you out,
soft.
Jim.
You're soft.
Yeah, I am. All right. Christina Bratcher. Curious, has anyone ever lost customer's credit card?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know how I've done it before multiple times? When you swipe the wrong card and you give it,
Oh, that's the worst.
and you give it to the wrong card, and they don't notice because maybe everyone
Yep.
has a Citizens Bank card, everyone has
Yep.
a Capital One card, so you get it screwed up because you cash in multiple tables out at once, and you hand back the wrong credit card, and then that person leaves with it. So not only did you swipe the card on the wrong thing, they paid that person's bill, and that person whose bill they just paid for left with their credit card.
How do you even break it to that person?
You do it. You got to be honest, and you do what you can to
Be like,
you
here at the
definitely
bottom is
comp
where
their
you put
bill,
my
and-
tip.
yeah, you can't. And you go into the computer, you cancel the charge on the original one, you eat it.
And I
because
think people are more understanding when you come right up to them and say, "Listen, I think I gave you a card to him."
you have to tell
People
them right
like,
away.
yeah, if you wait and say, "Oh, I don't know what happened to your card," they're like, well, "What do you mean you
Yeah, you're
don't
full
know
of
what
shit.
happened?"
Right.
But I mean, I've had people that that you put it in that little tray that you get your receipt in,
Oh, yeah.
and they put their credit card in. And I've had people walk up to the register, run their card, and then they give it back, and there's no credit card in there. People are like, you gave me the bill, but I need my credit card back.
Or it fall out
And
of the book. Or,
Well, it's either that or they just swiped it and put it down, or
yeah,
but as a server or a bartender, now you're like, holy shit.
right.
What did I do? What did I do? I got to do.
It's so easy to do something. So back when I was working big box retail, I used to have my sketchbook on me and I'd draw during my breaks. And I managed a team of about 10 people or so. And I walked back from break where I was drawing and I sat down at the computer where I was working and I'm like, how the fuck did I lose my sketchbook walking down the aisle of Home Depot? I'm like, where did it go? To the point where I went up to the services. I'm like, someone tries a sketchbook. I had no idea it was. I completely spaced that someone called me down an aisle, and I put my sketchbook in the carriage that they were using to hold some stuff.
Come on.
Like it just vanished from my memory, like it had ever happened. Like I went to talk
I'm like
later.
that
I'm
when I
like,
deliver
where the
burgers
fuck
to a
did you
table.
get? Yeah, I'm like, where the fuck
Yeah.
did you get my
We
sketchbook?
ordered 3 burgers. I had 3 burgers when I left.
Yeah, you're like,
So, did you ever see your sketches online for sale somewhere that you?
Yeah,
didn't
no
put
shit.
up?
No, he's not that good.
Absolutely. Shut up.
Can I have a follow-up question to the credit card? What is it? 100% credit cards and debit cards nowadays, or is there any?
It
cash,
really is.
Here's
Yeah.
a whole new conversation.
Yeah, I barely do cash.
More
stuff now.
people do credit cards now. So, Lou, you listening to this one?
Coming over.
As a bartender, and I've asked Jordan about this before. As a bartender, you take your cash tips at the end of the night. Right?
Correct.
So if you're tipped, let's say $200, the register is, you made that much in cash, you take the $200. Now that it's all credit cards, which seems to be, since COVID,
I haven't done a cash deposit at the bank in months.
it's all credit cards. Now the bartenders are pulling their tips, but they're raping my drawer, and my drawer now, when I start the next day, has got like $75 in it when I start with 300 because I'm getting no cash and it's all credit card tips. I can't do that because now I got to go to the bank every day to replenish the drawer.
right.
But the servers are so used to
Use
taking their
Eastern
money
Bank.
at the end of the night.
Yeah.
They're closed,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So the servers are so used to taking their money at the end of the night. I know you've done this. I haven't done it yet, but I'm considering saying you don't get your tips until 2 days later because when it's in my account, then I'll give it to you. But I'm not giving it to you before the customer gives it to
That's
me.
why I have to do it that way now because it's not cash.
And it's an
in-house for
uproar.
them.
It's an uproar.
It is what it is, and they'll get it. They'll get it the next day, or I'll Venmo.
Right.
I have a Speedball Venmo account now, so I'll Venmo it to them. You know what I
Lou,
mean? I
you
can do
Venmo
that.
a lot of people?
No,
Lou, do you know what Venmo is?
I do.
Okay.
Hey!
This guy, it's
Yeah.
on his tablet.
I actually have an account too.
Nice.
But
Really?
what I want to say about it is I can't stand the fact that they tell everybody what's going on in your life when you're paying them some
That's
kind
true.
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't want no one to know my
I'm with
business
you 100%
like that.
on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
So Lou, what do
Like
you
gonna
do?
buy
So
Bitcoin.
you're here. You get a lot of credit cards.
So
you don't have enough money to pay yourself
Yeah.
the tips.
So what we do is we take it out of the drawer. And even here and at the other place was the same way. So we keep enough cash on hand to probably take care of that. Although the drawer doesn't start with a big, large amount anyways. We don't do volume because you serve a lot of food. And
Right.
stuff like that. So that I can understand that. But here is most of my tips are in cash.
Well, we're opposite of you guys. We're 90% cash.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Really?
do. Unlike most clubs around us, we do accept credit cards.
So they just got a POS system.
Yeah, we do take credit cards.
We do take credit cards, mostly for our functions, but not much. But most guys are paying cash down here. So
Yeah,
it's not
I
really a
mean,
problem.
like we said, the beers are
It's
$2.25.
So the wife at home can't be like, hey, what are all
Exactly.
these transactions?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you tell you what's
That's
the bank
actually
account
really good
number,
thinking.
see password, that's your fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. But yeah, it's from working at the beer cellar, I always think back like I grew up in the '80s, and you hear the liquor store is a bad place to work because you get robbed all the time. And every night I'm like, it'd be the stupidest place to rob.
Yeah, right. Because it's all
There's no cash.
There's no
There's
cash.
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And, you can say credit cards, but debit cards,
Debit
all
card.
that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's all changed really because all the young kids they don't have cash anymore.
No.
No, they don't have checks either.
Yeah.
I tried putting everybody on direct deposit over the last couple of weeks, and I was like, guys, just bring in a voided check. They're like, what's that?
Yeah.
I swear to God, half my staff had no
Do you
idea
know
what
that
a check was.
half my staff doesn't know who friggin' Michael Bolton is?
What the fuck does that have
That's
to
a
do with
plus
anything?
for one thing.
Isn't it-
I was listening to
I
him
wish
weigh
I
in.
didn't know who Michael Bolton was.
Isn't he a runner?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't own checks.
When's the last time somebody
Right.
settled a checkbook?
Yeah, my
Not
wife still
even
does.
I
My
do
wife still
that.
does. My wife balances her checkbook. It's crazy.
How do you not keep me up at night?
When's the
I
last
don't
time you
have
wrote a
online
check?
I don't have checks.
You don't
Yeah,
need
it's
to.
online banking.
Yeah.
No, but
Online
online
banking
banking
doesn't
doesn't tell you you're pending. If it gave you the
It does. It says
amount.
Yeah.
pending.
Pending.
No, but like so.
Even tells you the word.
But I don't write checks, so I don't
Jim,
have
you don't
anything out
understand.
in the world that
You're not a
doesn't.
financial guy.
Yeah, I'm not really good at finances. So.
You sound like you
right.
are. It's not like you're on top of it, actually.
So the answer is
Okay.
no to that question.
No, that
Next.
question. Okay, that's an old question. Sorry, we didn't get. Wait,
Maybe
this
it's
is gonna be a stupid question. What's
No, I think we answered that question. What
When's-
we were talking about, that was the losing the credit
Alright.
card question.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went off on a tangent.
Yeah, we kind of went all over the place. All right, I'm gonna skip that one. Lynn George, what is your company's policy on FOH employees with facial piercings? Front of house. All right.
Fine with me.
Well,
I don't think you can work at Speedwell without one.
Yeah, I feel like speed
I
well.
was gonna say,
Lou, are you gonna get a facial piercing?
Dude, I was just going to say, that's when you get blackballed in this club. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's different from 5 years ago. Definitely 10, but even 5 years ago. It depends on what that means. I mean, you got them all over the place, or you just got one through your eyebrow, you got one through your...
Yeah, right. You don't see. I mean, there was a phase like in the late '90s where people were like running chains from their nose to their ear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it got a little out of hand.
Right.
But if they don't have a giant spike coming out of their forehead or something like that, it's not a big deal. Like I don't even notice it anymore. It's so common, you know.
I do, and I point and look and stare.
Even you don't even say anything. Like half. My
Oh, you
staff
told me
has
I couldn't
facial
say half the stuff I was saying.
hair. You finally listen to me.
But I mean, it's. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be facial piercings. It's like, what kind of image do you want to portray at your establishment?
Right.
I mean, going into Speedwell, it's
Well,
like, yeah, they're
you know
gonna
what?
be
I'm going to
tattooed
disagree with
and-
you because
Yeah.
that's. I think you can't do that anymore now.
Discriminatory.
It's discriminatory. Yeah.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I would say if you go to a fine dining restaurant and I think it's fair to say your waitress or waiter does not have a face tattoo. You know, I don't want to be served an $80 steak with somebody that has a teardrop under their eye, tattooed under their eye. You know, it's just not. It's not a good look.
Well, it's not a good look, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't hire him. Doesn't
You
mean
can
they
have
got
policy.
yeah.
You can
It's
have
not-
policy.
it's
like
not-
that.
you
It's not
can't
discriminatory because it's not something they were born
I'll
with.
put my HR hat on. It's not discriminatory if you have that rule across the board.
Correct.
And if you
Oh,
treat
no, no.
everyone the
And
same
you only
way.
do it for
Right.
and it's
Right.
for something that
Right.
they
Yeah.
chose to have.
Yeah.
Right.
You
You're
know.
allowed to have that policy.
Yeah.
I don't, and obviously because of, like what Andy was just saying, Speedwell's the kind of place where
They all have tattoos.
that's my clientele, so that's my.
Usually it's
staff.
like, hey, is that a new tattoo?
right. But you go to the Capitol Grill, you're not gonna have.
So you don't hire someone if there's no tattoos on them.
Yeah, would you
in the interview? Yeah, of course.
Would you hire someone with no tattoos?
Of course, absolutely.
But would you?
One of his questions.
I guess I'm going to have to go apply for a job because I'm tattooless.
That's because when you were a kid, they were illegal.
Yeah. No one, I don't know. They're all over the place now, though. God.
Well, it's. I remember I saw a meme one time, been like, "Oh, a 20-year-old that is covered head to toe in tattoos. I'm not afraid of that person. A 60-year-old guy covered head to toe in tattoos. I am frightened of that.
Yeah, right.
It just means something different, you know?
Yeah, it does. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Because back in the day, that it was illegal, and
Yeah, pretty soon you'll be able to get them from a vending machine.
yeah. Oh my god, now, whoever comes up with that vending machine is going to make a shit ton of money.
Working on it.
All right, you let me know. I'll invest. Did we answer? What is your policy? Yeah. Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Depends on your restaurant. Well, you're at bar.
Casey Doan. Anyone else slowly becoming an alcoholic because of your job?
Oh, not slowly.
Slowly.
I started as one when I took the job. That's why I took this job. So I heard you could drink behind the bar. Awesome.
Only on your birthdays. Only on your birthdays.
Lou, that's not an actual rule.
Well, they lied to me then.
That good of a bartender.
Slowly. Wow.
You know,
Well,
it's
here's
funny.
another-
I'm the
here's-
only one not drinking here.
It's true. It's true.
Well, here's another question that you could ask was, do you allow your bartenders to have a drink if a customer buys them one?
I do. Actually, we're very loose at Speedwell with that, but with the understanding that as soon as it gets out of control, we take it away. So they all police themselves pretty good because they don't want to lose that privilege of being able to kind of loosen up, take that edge off, participate with the clientele.
So if a customer comes into your place and says, "Hey, I want to buy the bartender a shot," the bartender says, "Oh, thank you very much," and takes a shot with the customer.
Depends on the time of day, depends on the environment, blah, blah, blah. Like, they use their discretion. They're not taking shots at 11:30 in the morning when there's a family sitting down at a table and blah, 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 blah. But
They're like, Jordan's got all the shot glasses.
yeah, right, no shit. But if it's 8 o'clock at night, it's mostly, I mean, Speedwell's mostly regulars anyway, so there's no one to impress, you know what I mean? Not saying we don't appreciate our regulars, but they get it. They know what we are, you know what I mean? So, you know, then it's okay. It's fine. I think we got a crew right now where no one really abuses it. The kitchen abuses the shit out of it, but no one sees them, so I don't care.
Here's your burger.
I'm one of
it's
them.
a piece of chicken.
But the front of the house, like, even
one-
now, like, you
half
got the
of one.
masks on and shit. You can't be pulling your mask down to do a shot. You can't be, you know, like, they have to have their masks on all the time and stuff now. So it's not really an issue. It has been in the past, and then we take it away from them for a while, and they're like, oh, fuck. Well, you know.
And that's the thing is I can see it not being a problem right up until it's a problem.
Right.
And then
I mean, because you
when
do
it's a
one,
problem-
but all of a sudden 6 people buy it within the hour, and
The misconception is that it makes your shift easier, and I think most of my staff has been around long enough to know that it's not the case. It makes your shift a lot harder. And those end of the night things that we all just said we hated doing are a lot harder when you've had a couple, more than a couple during your shift.
Lou, what about
I
you?
feel like Lou has something.
So, yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
I was
Go
just
for it.
thinking, if a guy tries to buy me a shot here, I think I got a little problem with that. You know,
Trying to take me home, bro?
I could see a guy buying a chick that's a bartender a shot, you know, because they like her and she's hot.
You did say you-
I'm nothing to look at to begin with, and if he wants to buy me a shot, he's trying to drink myself pretty.
We don't have that much alcohol, so
Huh?
we don't have that much alcohol. So. Can't even have to order.
Oh, shit.
All right, next
As I
question.
crack
I don't
the can
even know
open.
how we.
The questions
That was
aren't
rule number 3.
yeah,
Don't
questions
open
aren't
the
actually that important, are they?
No, they're just going to give
Yeah,
us
yeah.
something to riff on.
Oh, that was good.
All right. That's too long. Carl won't wait for that. Jonathan Harris. So let's talk about reciprocation. I'm curious if you cover someone's shift, when do you expect the other person to cover yours? What is the unwritten rule?
That's what are you doing? You immediately looking for your shift covered like the next
Yeah.
time you're on?
Yeah, right.
No, you
No.
cover shift because you want to make more money.
Yeah.
But if you do need something, you got a wedding, you got a funeral, you need it off, that person should be the first person to cover it. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying that first person's not busy, but we let the staff monitor that amongst themselves.
Of course.
So we have a sign-up sheet. Who you are, what shift you want off,
I'm Andy.
who's covering,
I'm not working.
and you need a manager to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as somebody signs up for that shift and the manager signs off on it, it's now that person that signed up for that shift's problem.
Right.
So if nobody
so you
falls
don't
off,
get that like I didn't really
That's right.
mean yes.
so
when I
if somebody
said
doesn't,
yes.
if that person doesn't show up for that shift,
Yeah.
it's the person who's covering it that gets
That's the right way to do it.
not
Yeah,
the person that's there.
for sure.
So we have a sign off like that. But we've had people that take a lot of time off. You got people that don't take a lot of time off, and the people that don't take a lot of time off, you know, they're either working already on those shifts, so it's tough to manage. But yeah, some people do abuse it a little bit. But the management reserves the right to say, sorry, you can't take that day off. You didn't get covered.
Right.
And if they can't get it covered and they take that day off, then they're fine.
I also feel like some of this kind of sorts itself out because when you get that guy who historically always needs a shift covered but never reciprocates
Yep.
and covers a shift,
People stop
people
covering
stop
it.
covering that
That's
guy's
right.
shift
Yeah.
because they're like, fuck that
That's
guy.
right.
We had a huge issue with that at Speedwell a couple
You
years
were
ago. I
doing
don't know
like
if you
gold
remember
stars.
this.
I remember
I
you
did,
get
yeah,
like
the
a
shit,
poster.
the
Oh,
shits,
right,
the
yeah.
shit emojis. Yeah, we did the shit list, where we were tracking how over the course of 6 months how many shifts people were covering and how many people needed shifts covered, and we rewarded the person who covered the most shifts, which she was picking them up and stuff like that. But you get a certain amount of points. If you covered an emergency, you get 3 points. If you switch, you get 2 points. And if, you know what I mean, you just happen to ask for a shift and pick it up, then you got 1. And we had to do that because it got to the point where like half of my fucking roster was not covering. And they were only working 1 or 2 days a week in the first place. So they were taking one of those 2 shifts off a week and never helping out because they had a day job or whatever. And it was really fucking...
Let's face it, the irritating part was like, I don't get enough shifts.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. And it's the same. It's
Yeah.
always, and
Yeah.
that never changes. Those 1 or 2 shifters are always going to be like that. It's such a pain in the ass.
How-
But
what do you do, Lou, to cover a shift? No one to go.
Well, I'll tell you,
Is there anyone else that
really
works?
good.
Yeah.
you guys have
That was a
So
rhetorical
we have 3
question.
guys that bartend right now, and the managers will fill in if they have to. If they can't find coverage, they're allowed to get behind the bar. But they're all tip certified. But like, for instance, there's a bartender here that when I go away to Florida for 10, 12 days, he covers my shifts. And he actually never asked me to cover any of his shifts because he likes his money. He doesn't want to take any
Right.
days off,
So
you
like,
know?
that's the thing. If I'm covering a shift, it's
Yeah.
not because I
You're not doing it for free.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You're not getting the check at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. Luke, sorry.
That's all right. I mean, it's basically all there is to it. I mean, if he asks, yeah, I do it. No problem.
We actually have the problem where, let's say me and Jim are working the same shift, and Jim takes it off, and they're looking for coverage, and then I put my name on the shift. I'm like, you can't cover a shift that you're already working.
yeah, right.
Like, it's
You get
unbelievable.
that?
Oh
Yeah,
my
it really
god!
happens?
Yeah, because they want to make double the money.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'm like,
so
there's-
they want 2 sections instead of 1.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're-
you can't do that. You're already working. You can't cover somebody else if you're already
Right,
here.
right.
They
But,
don't get it.
but I'm already here.
Yeah, but it's only for a 2-hour difference.
Oh yeah, I remember you used to have that all the time.
Like, listen,
the overlaps.
You
and
can't.
stuff.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. If you're already working, you can't cover somebody's shift because you're already here.
Right. Right.
Okay. This is from Kerbo Healy.
Ooh, Curbo.
All right. So I'm gonna amend this question a little bit. It says, okay, so some fun. What is the most in one night you've told the IRS? That's my amendment. You've made bartending.
Oh.
Have you had one night that like really like still sticks in your memory that you're like, oh, I made X amount of dollars that you're willing to?
Well,
Yes.
before we put a number out, just think about it. If I have a bartender or a server or whoever that makes $500 a night, I need another server or bartender on that shift
No, not always. I don't agree with that.
Absolutely.
No, I
Yep.
don't agree with that.
because there's no way they can keep up with all those tables that they're doing, depending on the size of the place.
I don't agree with that at all. Nope. Because what's the point?
Because you're
of
wrong.
No, well, you're incentivizing good service, and if they're getting really good tips because they're giving really good service,
Well, so
and you're going to punish them, you know, how do you know it's because they had so much volume? What if they're just really
Again,
good
it
at their
depends on the
job?
size of your place.
Well,
if,
let-
you have,
let me
if
mention-
you have 8 tables and they're making it, then God bless them.
Yeah, right.
So, Carl,
But if you got 15 and they're covering the 15 tables,
You're giving your service
then
15
something has to-
tables?
I'm just saying.
You
Carl-
got to put 2 on.
Carl, if they have 15 tables and they make $500 in tips,
And you're getting good reviews.
and you get 15 good reviews on Yelp.
Yeah, right.
But who brought the Yelp into it?
No, I'm
I
just
didn't
saying.
know that was part of the question.
How about
I'm
this? No,
adding to
on
it.
the other way. You're not getting any complaints.
Yeah.
People are coming back. People are coming back and asking when that certain server is working.
How about this? I would be anxious because I don't think that I'm making enough money during that night if that person has that much money coming in that I could spread it to 2 people and they can make more money.
That's how you lose people.
Coming in.
Because then you're punishing someone.
If I lose somebody for making $500 a night and they go to somewhere else, they're not going to make $500 a night.
They come with Speedwell, they will.
But at some point, you have to split up that shift.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind.
If they're overwhelmed.
Wouldn't table turnover come into this conversation? If you have one
yeah,
person
that's
doing
true too.
15 tables,
As a business owner.
if there's 2, you could turn tables quicker.
That's
Would
what
you
I
talk
mean.
to the
And
person?
now,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
now I can, maybe even buy one more drink for every person that was in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm making a lot more money.
Absolutely. I was thinking more. I wasn't thinking about it being if the server's overwhelmed and walking away with that much money. Absolutely. you have
And
to
the
put
server
that
will
on.
never
And we
tell
just
you
did
that. The server will
Right.
say, "I had a good night." No, everything was great.
We just had
because they want to make that.
If that perfect example just happened
Right.
at Speedwell. We just had to do that. And it sucks because the server was doing a great job and she was keeping up to the best of her ability and leaving with a lot of money, working
Yep.
a double by herself. But it got to the point where we weren't giving the customers the attention they needed.
Correct. At some
And
point,
we
that's
did
gonna
have to
hurt.
put someone on. So yes,
Right.
when it's that case, I didn't think of it like that.
But I have no problem putting another server on if somebody's making $500 a night.
right.
I have no problem.
You've worked some bar shifts. What's the most you ever made behind the bar?
Uh,
Damn,
Wait,
it's a
shit,
question.
Carl?
It
What's
cost me $30 for the frozen drinks I was drinking.
Me and Fish showed up and we left without paying. So.
Dude, that happens to me all the time.
Like, fuck it, it's Carl.
No, I think you bring it down to an hourly amount. And I bring it to my servers or bartenders, whoever it may be, and say, where else can you make $40 an hour on a
Right.
part-time job?
Oh, yeah,
What's a
absolutely.
good hourly wage?
Does
That's
it?
how I
Does
look
it
at
go
it.
out? Go out and try to make $40
Yeah.
an hour.
Or you got
Yeah.
a master electrician. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
So, if they're making $20 an hour, I can say, it's still $20 an
Still
hour.
$20 an hour. Where else are you gonna get that?
If
right?
it's
Kitchen
not,
guys aren't making
if
that.
it's not good enough for you to make that money, and I'm not judging you, but if it's not worth it for you, then don't do it.
Right.
Don't
Right.
do it.
Go get a facial piercing.
Yeah.
Go work at Speedwell.
See, it's kind of the thing. That's the trap there when we talk about, the trap of the industry because of that cash on hand the day of, and going back to the credit card thing and all that.
Right.
That's the thing. But I think a lot of I try to tell my staff at meetings, think of it how much you made in a week, not how much you made per
Correct.
day. Because
Yeah.
yes, you do have to work a Tuesday night. once a week.
Absolutely.
You can't just work Saturday days and Saturday nights.
People
every
say,
week.
I just want to work Friday night and Saturday night.
You can't.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to work Monday and Tuesday?
How much did you make this week?
You can
break
work
it down
Monday
by
and
hour, and I
Saturday.
can guarantee you're still
Absolutely.
making over $20 an hour.
Absolutely.
You're making well over $20 an
Mhm.
hour.
What about you, Lou? Is there like one day where you're like,
No, you know what?
the
It's-
stars aligned and I brought home?
Here is different. Like, I could have a great Monday right now that would blow any Friday or Saturday out of the water. You know what I mean? You just don't know what you're going to get here.
You don't.
And it depends what's on TV, basically, for me. If there's no
Right.
sports on, I'm going home early. If there's something on TV for these guys to sit around and watch and, bet on or whatever they want to do with it.
So did you try and get them like involved in like be like, hey guys, curling's on.
Yeah. Figure skating.
Well,
That's,
I bet you 50
because
bucks.
this is a private club, right?
Yeah.
And you're bartending, and let's say it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Nobody's been in here for maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah.
One guy walks in. Do you
Yeah.
say,
well, depends
you
who
can have- you can
depends
have-
who it is.
Well,
you
usually
say you can have one drink,
yeah.
but you got to go
Yeah.
because I'm getting the hell out of here?
No,
Normally,
usually he
it's-
tells me Jimmy can have 2, then you have to go home.
So you
I
are
have all these tokens.
you are talking about Jimmy Pearson's
I
then,
have a-
right?
I have a pocket full of wood, Lou. What are you
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about?
You know how many times Jim brought everybody around when it was only him here?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Set up the bar.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to buy for everybody. Where is everybody?
No, I think the favorites around here, I've noticed when there's no sports on, is what's the 7 o'clock show there? The
Oh, ice skating?
Family Feud's a big one.
Oh,
Really?
Jeopardy.
Yeah, and during the day, Price is Right was a big one.
Oh, yeah. You can bet on that
Yeah.
all day.
When before COVID, when we opened up at 10, it was Andy Griffith's show and then Bonanza. Yeah,
I thought you said the crowd was getting younger.
yeah. Well, the day people they
retirees.
work.
Yeah, because they watch it and go, wow, what's this all about?
Nothing.
What's wrong with your color?
Bonanza and HD.
All right.
Huh?
Hang on, Carl. This one's a long one. My cable TV bill is $425 a month. We have 5 TVs in the building. This does not include my internet or hardline phone, just a TV cable bill. It seems it says extramarital. I'm assuming that's a typo because that seems crazy. Hi to me. Not to mention we have no sports to watch. What are some? What are some of you others paying? Any suggestions on cutting it down?
All right, so I'm going to tell you how the cable company looks at this.
Oh, that's Glenn Witham.
Thanks, Glenn.
They see it as fuck you guys.
Well, it's definitely cable companies suck and they're fucking assholes for sure. But they are looking at it as how many people are sitting in your restaurant watching those TVs. So you are getting a higher rate because every ass that's in the seat in your bar watching that TV is an ass that's not at home paying the cable bill.
Fair.
So like pay-per-views, I always get asked, you're gonna have the UFC fight, you're gonna have the Mayweather fight, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that. I would if I was paying $80 like you would at home, but you don't. When you have a business account,
So
it's
what do you
different.
pay for a pay-per-view?
It's thousands.
$2,000, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
thousands for a pay-per-view, and they were like, "Oh, just charge at the door." Well,
You can't make it up.
You can't make it up.
Yeah.
And not to mention the people that are coming in and watch these things, your tables aren't turning over because it's 3-hour long, events and blah 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 blah. They're all sitting there for the main fight. And then half the time the fight happens, you're already closed. So it's like,
Or the main fight is like
the main fights are
12
like
minutes
midnight.
yeah, exactly.
You gotta close
And it's 12
by
minutes
1
long.
and it's just starting.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
They see 2 rounds.
Yeah, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you gotta leave.
But that's
You
how
gotta
the
leave.
cable company looks at it.
Can
Is
you imagine like old school Tyson fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I picture
Right.
granted it was 4 seconds.
It's insane. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think it's gotten to the point now where that's how cable companies look at it. They're like, we would rather you be ordering your pay-per-view at home or paying your cable bill at home because that's each head, and we're giving you a discount because you have 90 people in your restaurant and you're paying $500 instead of those 90 people each paying $100 and something at home. That's
Yeah.
the way they look at it. So
Which from their standpoint, I guess it makes sense. I had a retail shop in East Bridgewater back in the day, and all I wanted was internet, and it was 5-6 times as expensive as my residential.
right.
And they're like, yeah, but it comes with free, basic cable. I'm like, can you like knock $40 off and just not give me? No, that's not how it works.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If you call every year though, because they don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
If you call every year and say you're thinking about switching, you stay on the phone for a good 45 minutes and talk to the manager, and then the other manager I'm doing quote marks.
Yeah.
They'll do like, oh, we'll give you a new package. We'll renew your contract, something like that. So it's just you got to wheel and deal with them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's going to change. We don't pay that. We don't pay here what he's paying. And it depends how many boxes you have.
Yeah.
We can do a separate show on every TV. But I think you're going to find even cable companies have to give in because everything's streaming now.
Yeah.
Correct.
Pretty
Yeah.
soon we're going to be streaming what we want and there will be no cable. So I have to
Yeah, but
think,
to stream, you have to get wireless.
yeah, you're going to pay
You
more
need
for
the
your
internet. You need the.
You're going to pay more for your Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
You're
but-
gonna pay more for your Wi-Fi, but you're gonna have way more options.
Way more. But I feel like in the end, a cable company is going to have to succumb to the pressure and start to give you better
And if
deals.
you
Jim's
want,
right.
if you want a tip on like how to handle them when you call up and they'll be like, "Hi, I'm Steve." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Cool. What number do I use to report you when I have a problem?"
Yeah.
And they
It's
go, and then they give you the number. You go like, "Cool, I want your manager."
Right.
It's just like I'm tired of like telling the story and then telling the story and then telling the story. I just like get names up until I feel like I've reached the top, and then I tell that person.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I talked to you
Like,
right after
fuck
I did it at home. I was
so tired of that bullshit.
we podcasted the day. I was
Well,
like jacked up.
your cable company a lot, or
Cell phone company, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I get a new cell phone, it's like a 6-day ordeal. And last time I did it, I was in a cast because I'd broken my ankle, and I was irate. And it got
That's
to-
why you don't get a cell phone every other month.
I've had this cell phone for like 4 years.
No, I've had my cell phone for 4 years, dude.
And
cell
your
phone-
family had it for 15
Yeah.
years before that.
Yeah. Lou, how long have you had your tablet?
Since 1959.
For our listeners, go back to the last episode. That'll make sense.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a callback.
We've done a lot of callbacks.
I know,
but I think it's good.
we
It's
try not
good
to do that.
They're good ones though.
Yeah, we've been around long enough. Go back and listen to old
Yeah.
episodes. All right. No. Sorry, I got into that question. I wasn't
He's
looking at
looking. He's not looking
I
for
would-
good questions. He's looking for names he can actually read.
that. Fuck you, yeah.
Lou, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think this is a pretty cool thing right now. I'm looking, everyone's got a drink in front of them and
I
just
got-
sit around and shoot the shit.
I got
Yeah.
a question, Carly.
That's
Why
all
are
we
you
do.
doing?
Do you have a question?
It's this Sapphire Turner. I have an interview for a bar supervisor promotion within the bar I work and was wondering if anyone has any advice. How does Sapphire,
You haven't
impress?
you're named after a gin. I mean,
Yeah, really. You're hired.
I mean,
I think don't show up drunk would be one thing.
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true. I
Don't
suppose
show
that
up.
depends on where you're working.
Yeah, that's true.
Speedwell, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it is.
I'm gonna
Those people
I'm
you
gonna
show-
fill out an application
it's
tomorrow.
Yeah, I just lost my only bartender.
You have to show up with a drink
Yeah.
before the interview.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Jordan, how you doing? And put down the
You
drink
want
in
me
front
as
of
a
him.
woman or a man?
A woman, I want to see that one.
No, you don't. You can never unsee that.
Lou, I want a nose ring.
You're talking from.
He's done it.
I put a mop on my head as a wig,
And
2 cups as a breast. Because all the guys were bitching that there were no women down here, and I went back there and called myself Louise and came out as Louise instead of Lou. But you can call me Mel.
My eyes. All right, that was the best throwback.
Sorry, I don't know why. Only during the introduction.
Did you wait this whole hour to squeeze that in?
I was waiting for
Oh, that was good. That was a 100-mile-per-hour fastball right there.
That was really good. All right, don't fuck with Lou. All right, I got it.
We definitely didn't answer that question.
Nope, don't even remember what the question was. It was by Sapphire.
Yeah, something about a job interview.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
you do.
job interview. Yeah. How do you
Don't
work?
be overly scripted. Be prepared. Show up early. Bring a pen.
Be genuine.
Bring a pen.
Yeah,
Bring a pen.
bring a pen.
Yeah.
Yep. You know you're gonna be filling out.
Bring
some
your
paperwork.
resume. Bring your resume.
Yeah, bring a resume. Most of the time,
It's-
if you have an interview, they've already seen your
She
resume.
did say it's a
so.
place where she already
She
worked.
already worked there, so
Oh,
they already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's interviewing for a supervisor.
promotion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, blow the bus.
Wait a minute, you can say that? Oh,
Fucking hell.
no.
You said no names.
Yeah.
That's all right.
This is all fucking gone.
Yeah.
No, please do not delete that.
No. That's gold.
Lou, that's not advice for you, by the way.
Yo, Jen just started listening.
Yeah. I'm out of that. I'm out of that one.
Luckily, Carl's bar manager is LBG QT.
Wow.
So
Okay.
he can get away with that one.
So,
We know that's how she got
Moving
her
right
promotion.
along.
unemployment claims. Is it common for high school students to file for unemployment? I terminated a few due to poor performance, and most of them filed for unemployment. I also have an employee who is quarantined due to close contact, testing positive, and was surprised to learn that they filed for unemployment. Both seem unusual.
They can do whatever they want to do.
Right.
What
With
they
the
get- what they
quarantine
get
thing,
approved.
all right, so you're forcing that person to, I mean, I guess CDC rules say you have to hold that person out of work anyway. But when it's someone that's quarantining, if they can file a claim for 1 week, go ahead. I will definitely let that go through. Absolutely.
Right.
Like, I'm not letting you come to work.
But if you fire for somebody for whatever reason,
Yeah,
and
you can dispute it.
You dispute it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very. I don't know if you ever disputed it, and I deal with this a lot in my job. Like it's very hard to dispute unemployment claim unless they did something malicious,
Yeah.
defined as destroyed property, stole something like that.
Really?
They have every right to apply for unemployment. You can fight it, but you're going to lose in the state of Massachusetts. In the first CARES Act, if you were quarantining, you were required to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Has since expired. That's not required anymore. So the answer is yes, they can file unemployment.
Right.
They're not going to get much because obviously it's going to be based on what the average pay was. So I can't imagine.
It's like
gonna be-
1/3 of their average
Yeah,
pay,
yeah.
too, right? Yeah.
Well, it depends on how
Based on the last
yeah.
3 months that they've actually worked.
Right.
Yeah. So it'd be minimal cost to the employer.
And that's something else that I don't think employees realize. Is that when you do file for unemployment, it does cost your employer. Like they're paying a portion of that, correct?
No, what happens is every employer withholds money for that,
Okay.
and you get a rate every year at what you have to withhold. So I suspect rates come out end of March, beginning of April. I think a lot of firms who laid off are going to get a big rate this year. So that's how the employer pays. You're paying more towards unemployment to make up for what they look at who you laid off, what they took out of the system, and so you're sort of penalized to make up for some of the difference.
Yeah.
And I got claims from people who haven't worked for me for 5 years because they go back to your last job. I've never seen that far back, but I dealt with a lot of that.
We got an actual real answer.
I know.
Someone who knew they were
And
talking
nobody
about.
understood it.
I learned
fucking
something.
idea what he said.
I'm really impressed.
I learned something today.
All right. This one's kind of for Jordan. Maria Skokin.
Uh-oh.
Does anyone increase prices on third-party delivery platforms? I know you love those.
Oh, well, that's
I was
not for me
considering
because I've never
15
used them.
I was considering 15%.
Yes. The answer is yes.
So you increase the prices?
Absolutely.
So you put your stuff up on Grubhub or DoorDash.
Yep.
You submit your menu to
Yes.
them.
Which
You
is
put it-
different from your actual menu.
Got you.
With any increase that you actually have, so it's already built into the price.
So
Right.
basically, whatever they're taking as a percentage,
You
build
cover
into
in the price.
Now, this is what I misunderstand because I've never actually used one. So I need to be maybe set straight on this. Does the consumer pay the fee to have the food delivered to them, or does the restaurant pay a fee to these third-party companies to have?
I
I
know.
think-
I know
I
the
think
restaurant
the
does.
answer
I
is
don't
yes.
know. Yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I
believe.
think they're double
Yeah.
dipping.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're raising your price. So at the end of the day, instead of getting off your ass, and I'm not poo-pooing this. I get it's COVID age, and people don't want to go out, and I understand all that. But you're essentially going to pay almost double to get your cheeseburger delivered to you
I
by
have,
someone you don't know or trust.
I have
That's
a
right.
good friend.
And the
that-
guy could stop for gas and drive 30
Yeah.
miles and then come to
Eat
your house.
half your fries
And it's my problem that your hamburger was cold.
Yeah.
Correct.
I have a good friend whose kids use Grubhub all the time. And she'd be like, oh, she got, this, that, and the other thing from Chick-fil-A or wherever. It's not even like a good restaurant.
Right.
It's fast food. And she'd be like, oh, she spent $40.
Right.
I'm like, that's fucking insane.
It's insane.
Like,
Yep.
if you went to Chick-fil-A and spent $40, it'd probably be enough to feed half of us here.
Right.
Opposed to one.
But, I mean, they could throw it around in their car.
Yeah.
Like the old pizza
I mean,
commercials.
it's just-
and
That's why I
deliver
don't
it,
do it,
and
yeah.
then it's the restaurant that is getting a bad review because the food wasn't up to what they had considered.
Correct.
The
But
other,
you can't deliver a medium burger to a place because the thing's still cooking while it's
yeah.
in the buns on the way there.
Right. The other pitfall of Uber and Grubhub is they're highly susceptible for hacking. Grubhub recently got, was it Grubhub? I hope I got the right one. They were recently hacked.
One
and-
of them.
One of them got hacked.
We don't mention any names.
All right, sorry. One of them got hacked, and
Don't get
people
sued, Jim. Jesus.
people were getting all these charges for food they didn't order.
Right.
I mean, you could
Oh.
only use it for
Yeah.
that, but they're. You remember these things grew out of nowhere, so they
Yeah, the
don't
young
have
platforms,
they don't
yeah.
have
And you
high
got to remember
security,
that
yeah.
all Grubhub and
Absolutely.
all those platforms, when you're busy, that's when people want to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, well, I'm going to have this so that I can have something to do in our slow time. Nobody eats during your slow time because it's your slow time. So once you get busy on a Friday, Saturday night, all of a sudden that thing's ringing off the wall, and you're like, I can't handle it.
Right. And you can't control it because they just yes to every single order
Yep.
that gets plugged into that app. So now the people who actually come out, your regulars, stuff like that, are the ones that are going to suffer.
That's right.
Because the experience in the restaurant or takeout, even if they come in to pick it up on their own,
It kills your kitchen.
absolutely.
Absolutely kills you.
And I think I've said it.
I
It's
just
been a while
asked these
since I've
questions
said
because
it.
I know Jordan is fucking.
Oh, can you feel the heat coming out?
I like how it's like the end.
He's leaning up a bit. He was
My-
relaxed.
Those
He's leaning
motherfuckers!
up.
I'll hunt them down. I have a set of skills and I'll kill you.
Well, two of these companies.
You don't know me, but
Two of these companies, on more than one occasion, put my restaurant with an old menu with old pricing and things I don't offer anymore. on
Jordan,
their
I know that's
platform.
why I asked these questions because it gets you
Oh.
super mad.
And
He never even signed
when
up
I
for it.
call them to take it off, they make me go through this whole interview process to confirm that it's me to get my own fucking restaurant off of their platform. Twice.
That you didn't want it in
Twice.
the first place.
I didn't want it in the first place. So now you're burying my kitchen. You're ordering things I don't have. I have customers calling and complaining because they got something that was $3 more than it used to be. And like, dude, honest to God, it's a
Man.
great thing.
I'm a terrible person because
Oh,
I love
you got
Matt,
me
I
all
love
going.
Matt
Yeah, look at
Jordan.
him, he's
I
all-
love Matt
Wind
Jordan.
him up and watch him go, baby.
Hey, can we get back to
You get the
Can we
point.
get back to Jim and Mel, please?
Yeah. Did you answer the question, Jordan?
I hope so.
So if you guys want to write in your Grubhub questions to Jordan specifically, you
I'm
can
just gonna start a Grubhub rant podcast. We should just do one of those.
Oh, I love those questions.
Get
All
me
right, this
fired
one
up.
is anonymous. It says, we're going to have to like amend this a little bit. Does your mayor pay for meals or does he dine without a charge? So who in your establishment, do you not charge?
Well, I'll go first on this one.
All right.
I don't charge Carl.
I don't charge my landlords, and it drives me crazy
Okay.
because they expect it, and that's I think what drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But
I get that.
during COVID, he was really helpful. For the amount of money that I spend on his dinner has nothing to do with what he could have charged me or kicked me out or the whole thing.
I want to stay on his good side.
So yeah, you want to stay on his good side, but not that anybody would come in during COVID because nobody's looking to open a restaurant during COVID.
Yeah.
So he did help me out quite a bit, but sometimes it's the
The expectation. Yeah.
expectation of getting a free meal drives me nuts more than anything else. And then they might come in with another couple, and I'm thinking, do they expect it too? Do I just charge the two? So it's not the mayor, but yeah, some people do come in expecting,
Yeah.
and I think that's the worst thing, is because if I know they're expecting it, I definitely don't want to do it.
Yeah. I used to have somebody that abused it quite a bit. There was a.
Dude, I stopped coming over.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine because I drink 48 White Claws at your place on Monday, but and you don't charge me. But we used to have a business upstairs from us that was existing before the restaurant was built downstairs, and it was a yoga studio. And to sort of appease for, hey, listen, we're going to be having live music downstairs, blah, blah, blah. We understand when you're all namaste upstairs, it's going to be kind of tough having a loud bar downstairs. So to appease that, we're like, hey, listen, come down. We have an open tab for you whenever you come down there, blah, 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 blah. Well, it went from that to being every day, margaritas for all our friends. And it was expected, not tipping the servers, being rude, and then me going upstairs plunging their toilets, because let me tell you, yoga shit does some damage after stretching the body around like that. The things that were coming out of those ladies' bodies.
That's how you want to end this whole thing with that?
Well, we got last call stuff. But that one went up my ass, and we took that one away. We eventually took it away because it was a deal that was worked out before I was involved, and it was just, yeah. It's when, to Carl's point, it's when they expect it. I have no problem doing it to someone who appreciates it, but when someone comes in and just doesn't even think twice about getting a bill, I just don't want to do it anymore.
I appreciate it, Cole.
What about you, Jim and Lou? Do you have anyone here that kind of drinks on the house?
No,
I love Lou.
Nope.
Lou's like, no.
everyone pays.
Fuck that guy.
I mean, at $2.25, you don't have it, you shouldn't be a member here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point.
What we do,
I mean,
what,
really.
what we
I
do
mean,
do
come
is
on.
we're all volunteer help.
Seriously.
So we'll have next weekend we're doing a big cleanup, and we'll give if you're here volunteering for an entire day, we're going to let you drink some beers, and
Yeah.
But generally no one sits down for free.
I think the overall.
They never expect it either.
Yeah. I
Right.
think that's the overall thing.
Yeah.
It's the expectation. Like,
Yeah.
Fish and I get amazing treatment from tons of places, and it's never expected. I don't be like, see you guys later. Well, maybe to Carl, but fuck yeah. But I go up and be like, what's our tab? And they'll be like, don't worry about it. It's
God, I hope that happens today.
no.
It already did. Jim signed off.
Wait a minute. we're not at the New World Tab.
Wait, I thought this was on the New York Times tab. Yeah. But I mean, it's that expectation of I would never walk into a place and just start ordering drinks for friends and be like, it's covered, don't worry about it. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, agreed. Expectation, I think, is the answer.
Yeah. Just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. I think we say that every episode.
To you.
Not to Jordan, Carl.
Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
I think there's a joke in there we didn't get.
Me neither.
All right. That's the last call. Let's go around the table. Anyone can plug what they want to plug. And I'm going to start with Jordan again.
Shit. Well, on the previous episode that we already did at the Hilltop, I plugged the Hilltop, so I won't do that again, but thank you guys again for having us. I'm going to say get vaccinated.
Nice. Sure. Mel /
I wanted to let you know my name's really not Mel, it's Lou.
And the last episode.
But there is a guy that the other bar I worked at called me Leo for 6 months when I finally said my name's Lou. He goes, not to me, it's Leo. So you can call me Mel or Leo. I don't really care.
Don't give me more names. I can't handle one. Jim.
Same as before. Just thanks for having us. Good good time to get our message out. Anyone out there that wants some business and unemployment advice, Kyle gave you my number. My rates are cheap.
Mr. Heine?
I'm actually going to plug the podcast. So, like us. What else do you do? Share us.
Subscribe.
Listen to us.
Subscribe
to
comment.
us.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, but if I say subscribe to us, they're already subscribed.
If there's
No, they downloaded it,
You
they
can
didn't
listen.
subscribe.
Oh yeah, download us. Right? I don't care.
Face chat us, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Napster us, whatever you need to do.
He's like our
Oh,
MySpace
Snapchat.
page.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Boy, I have a lot.
Get us LinkedIn.
Yeah. We're not on LinkedIn, Carl.
No.
Don't make us have a LinkedIn
too
page. We have
professional.
an Instagram because Jordan wouldn't stop saying Instagram.
Now I don't do it anymore. I let you fuck it up
Thank
instead.
you for listening.
Fucking prick.
You can't
All
even
right.
get the name of our guests right, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's not new. I couldn't do that on
Touche.
every podcast.
You got my name.
Jared, I never forget your name. So I just want to say thank you for listening, and I'm going to say support your local musicians. I don't know about where you are, but in Plymouth it's been kind of off and on. You can play, you can't play, you can't sing, you can sing, blah, blah, blah. Throw them some money on Patreon, hand them $5, buy them a sandwich. I don't know. Musicians are in a tough spot, so support your local musicians where you can, and that's what I'm going to say for last call. If you like us, you can email us at gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Jesus. At
That's what email us.
bartalk@gmail.com.
No.
Bartalkcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bartalkcast@gmail.com.
Why is he in charge?
Because no one's told me I can't be. At bartalkcast@gmail.com. If you hate us, email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com because Jordan would love to read your email.
Especially if you work for like DoorDash or something. I want to hear your perspective. That would be nice.
Let's get some from DoorDash.
Yeah, someone put me in the bathroom, please. Let's go. Put him in the bathroom.
And you can like us on all the social medias at BarTalkCast. Follow our YouTube page now because we have some stuff up there. More and more is coming. And as always, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebriart or on Instagram at Inebriart6. You can email us at inebriart@yahoo.com. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts on the Inebriart Podcast Network, including Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror Podcast, and our newest one, Theme Park Legends, a podcast about working at theme parks. What else? And we'll catch you again next time.